Hello my friends, how are you? How you doing? Today we're going to take the grammar from the last unit 10. Okay, we're going to take determiners and quantifiers. So please open your student's book on page 87. So, what are the determiners and when do we use them? Determiners can be for a noun or an adjective plus a noun and they introduce and classify them. Okay? When do we use determiners? We use the indefinite pronouns article a or an to mention something for the first time. And I think that this information you already know it, okay? So we say, we saw an interesting film at night yesterday. In this sentence, I'm telling you the first time about this interesting film, okay? That's why I use an. And if you looked over here, we put interesting. Interesting is the adjective. Then I put the noun, okay? Or when do we use determiners? Or to say what is someone's job is. For example, I say, my dad is a doctor at the local hospital. Okay? So I'm telling you about someone's job, father's job, mother's job, whoever. Okay? You have to put a or an before the job of this person. Or to introduce a general example of something. What do I mean? Look at this example. When I say I'm hungry, let's ask someone if there is a restaurant here. Okay? So I just want a general restaurant. I want any restaurant, okay? I'm not asking for a specific one. That's why we put over here a. Okay, guys, so we talked about the indefinite article a and an. What about the definite article the? When do we use it? We use the definite article the to mention something that has been mentioned before. Look at this example. When I say he's going to a university in London, why here I used a? Because I'm mentioning the university for the first time for you. Okay, you do not know which university he's going to. That's why I'm using a. Okay, then when I continue the sentence, I said the university in South London. Why here I used that? Because I mentioned the university before. Okay, so now it is known for you. Okay, and we use the definite article the to talk about something that is unique. Okay? Look at this example. Although it was late at night, I could see clearly thanks to the moonlight. Here, the moonlight is something unique. Okay? That's why I'm using the. And we use the definite article there to talk about people and things that are familiar to everybody. Look at this example. Sammy saw the doctor today. Why here I use the? Because everybody around me, I'm telling them about Sammy's doctor. They already know Sammy's doctor. Okay? This doctor is familiar to them. So when I say the doctor, they know which doctor I mean. Okay, there's something important you have to know. Okay? Look here, please. We use the with the names of buildings or places. We do not use the with these activities that take a place in them. Okay, what do I mean by this? Look at the example so it will be easier for you. They are going to close the school in our street. You know which school I'm talking about over here. That's why I'm using the. When I continue the sentence, I'm saying, I'm staying late at school tonight because there is a volleyball practice. So, when I continue the sentence, okay, I'm telling you about what is happening in school, why I'm staying late, what is the activity that I'm going to do. So, when you are talking about the activities that happens in these places, you should not use the article the. Okay? Clear? When I'm talking about the activity, I'm not using the. When I'm mentioning the name of the building or place, I use the. Clear? Now let's talk about quantifiers. I want you to know that some determiners are quantifiers, words which tell us how many or how much, okay? The first quantifier that we're going to talk about is all. We use all with countable and uncountable nouns. Look at the example. All the bread and all the pieces are included in the price. Okay? Number two, when do we use both? We use both with countable nouns to talk about two things. Both cars. Here, when I say both cars, I mean the two cars involved in the accident were completely destroyed. What about the quantifiers each and every? When do we use them? We use each and every with singular countable nouns. We use each when the people or things it refers to are seen individually. But we use every when we see all the people or things it refers to as a group. What do I mean by this statement? Let's look to these two examples together so it will be easier for you. When I say each student will be given their own locker, here I'm looking at students one by one, individually. I'm seeing them individually, okay? And I'm saying that each one of you should have his own locker, okay? But if we looked at the second example, I say every student must complete 10 essays in the first term. So, every here, when I say every student, I'm looking at the students as a group. Okay? All of them together as a group. I hope it's clear for you. Okay, when do we use a few or a little? We use a few with countable nouns and a little with uncountable nouns. Okay? For example, we say, he says he has got a few good friends. Here, friends are countable nouns. I can say one friend, two friends, three friends, right? So we use a few with countable nouns. Let's look at the second example. Could I have a little water, please? Water here is uncountable noun, right? That's why I'm using a little. Do you see the difference between them? It's easy, right? So we use a few with countable nouns and we use a little with non-countable nouns. What about many and much? When do we use them? We use many with countable nouns and we use much with uncountable nouns. For example, I can say, how many days have we got to finish the project? Okay, so days over here are countable nouns. I can say 2 days, 3 days, 10 days, right? But look at the second example. When I say there is not much food for dinner, is food here countable or uncountable noun? It is uncountable noun. That's why I used much. Clear? What about several? When do we use several? We use several with countable nouns. For example, I say, several clients would like to speak to the manager. So clients are countable nouns, and manager also countable nouns. Okay, so according to the example over here, clients are countable nouns. Okay, so we used over here several. Okay, over here there is an important note you have to know. All of these quantifiers, with the exception of every, so all of them except every, okay, are followed by the preposition of when we use them with a pronoun. Okay, so look at the example. I say he gave a glass of cold water to the both of them. So look over here, please. Both of them. So if you used here a pronoun, you have to put here what? Of. After what? After the quantifier both. Okay, so I want you to know that you can put of with all the quantifiers except every when you are using after them a pronoun. Okay, let's look to the second example. The interviewer asked each of us some very difficult questions. So here we can use of with each when they are followed by any pronoun. Here we have the pronoun us. Clear? So this is an important information you have to know. Okay, 10th graders, would you please open your student book on page 87? We're going to do exercise number 1 from the exploit. The exercise says, choose the correct quantifier in each sentence. Okay, every or many international travelers need to be aware that gestures have different meanings in different countries. Here, travelers, I want you to look at travelers. Travelers are what? Countable or non-countable nouns? Of course, countable nouns, and international is the adjective, okay? So, travelers are countable nouns. And I'm not talking about them as a group, so I'm not using every. I'm not talking about them individually, so I'm not using each. So, the suitable quantifier over here is many. Let's look to the second example. Each or both culture has its own rules, and you should study them before visiting them. Okay. In this sentence, I'm talking about culture, okay? And I'm seeing culture individually. I'm talking about it as individual. So, what I have to use? I have to use each, for example. I'm not talking about two cultures, so I'm not using both. Okay, so the suitable answer over here is each. Number 3, speaking several or each languages is useful, but people should learn about cultural differences too. When you see languages, okay, it is plural. You have to know that you have to put several, okay? Because of the meaning of several, okay? So we say several languages, not each. Number 4, eye contact is considered essential in conversation in many or every European and Arab countries. What I have to use here, I'm talking about European and Arab countries, so I'm using many European and Arab countries because they are countable nouns. Every or each adult in Korea avoids smiling in public because it indicates embarrassment. So here I'm using what? I have to use the quantifier every. Why? Because I'm talking about adults in Korea as a group. I'm not talking about one by one individually, okay? And the last one, which is number 6, Many or few Scandinavians will like it if you stand very close to them. It is the region of the world where people need the most personal space. So I have to use few. Few. Okay? You can know that you have to use few when you continue the sentence from the context. Okay? And these are the answers for the exploit. I hope it is easy for you. There is an important information over here. I want you to know it. If you look to the lookout box, you will see that it talks about the definite article the. We use some words with the definite article the when they are being used to describe a place or an object. Okay? So we say the university is located in the center of the town. However, we do not use the with a place or object when they are being used to describe an activity. Okay, so I say he's been studying at university for 3 years. So when I'm talking about the activity in that place, I'm not using the. When I'm mentioning the building or a place, I use the. It's easy, right? Now let's do exercise number 2. Complete the following sentences with the where necessary. In this exercise, I want you to differentiate when can we use the and when we cannot use the. Okay, number 1. The school is too small for all the students that want to go there. Here I'm talking about a specific school. That's why I'm using them. Number 2. I'm always late for, what do you think? For school or for the school? I have to use the because here I'm going to a specific one. A specific school, okay, which is known to everybody around me. So here I have to put the. Number 3. The children go to bed later during the holidays, or the children go to the bed. I don't say to the bed. Okay, here I'm talking about an action, so I should not use the at all. Okay, so no the on number 3. Number 4. We have space. Bed in my room is very uncomfortable. Can you give me another room, please? Okay, here I'm talking about a specific bed which is known to the people who's working in the hotel. Okay, so here I have to use the bed in my room. Number 5. We visited space town where our parents got married. Here I'm talking about which town? The town where our parents got married. So I have to use that on sentence in sentence number 5. Clear? Number 6. My sisters spent all afternoon shopping in town. I should not use the article the over here. Why? Because I'm talking about an activity that happened in that town. Okay? So no article. Number 7. Mike has been recovering in the hospital or in a hospital since the accident. What do you think? Here I should not use an article. Why? Because I'm talking about the activity. Okay? The last one, there was a fire at the hospital last night. Here I'm mentioning the building, okay, or the place, so I have to use that. But on number 7, I'm talking about the action that happens in the hospital, so I should not use that. Okay? Clear? Thank you. Okay, 10th graders, would you please open your student book on page 113? I chose from the grammar builder exercise number 1 for you to differentiate between a, an, and the. Complete the sentences with a and the or no article. Okay? Let's look at the sentences. Sentence number 1. My brother is a or an accountant, and for sure because we have vowel. And why we're not using that? Because I'm mentioning someone's job in a bank, because I'm mentioning bank here for the first time. The second time I mentioned bank, I have to say the bank is in the city center. Okay? Number 2, I have to say sun is star, not planet. What I have to use with the sun? The, because we have only one sun and it is known for everybody. We say the sun is a star, not a planet. Clear? Number 3. Jack has broken his leg and he is in a hospital, the hospital, or in hospital. No article in this sentence. Okay? Jack has broken his leg and he is in hospital. Here I'm talking about an action. Okay? So you should not use any article in this sentence. Number 4. I had to speak, space manager, about space, new products I was telling you about. So what I have to use? I have to say the manager, because I have only one manager and he's known to me, to everybody around me in the company. So I have to say the manager about the new products. Why I said new products? Because if you continue reading the sentence, he said I was telling you about. So the manager now has an idea about these products. It was mentioned before for him, so I have to say the products. Number 5. He works for space company in California. Space company makes computer components. What I have to use in this sentence? In the first space, I have to put a company. He works for a company in California. I'm mentioning the company for the first time. But when I continue the sentence and I'm talking about the company for the second time, I have to say the company makes computer components. Okay, clear? And the last one, Japanese students spend 10 hours a day at a school, the school, or no article. What I have to put here? I should put no article because I'm talking about an action. Clear? I hope so that everything now is clear for you. Thank you. Now, girls and boys, would you please open your workbook so we can do it together, the exercises? Okay, we have exercise number 1. Determiners. Complete the rules with the words in the box. We have quantifiers, pronouns, articles. Determiners come before nouns and they include the, articles, a, and the for sure. Some determiners known as, tell us how much or how many, known as quantifiers. We use these quantifiers except for every with the preposition of when they come before pronouns. Now guys, let's match these quantifiers with their definitions. Number 1, many. We use it to talk about a large number of people or things. Number 2, both with F, when we are going to talk about 2 people or things together. 3, few. We use it with A when we're going to talk about a small number of something. Number 4, each. We use it with C when we are going to talk about the things, people, etc. in a group of 2 or more considered separately. And number 5, several. We use it with D when we are going to talk about an amount that it is not exact but fewer than many. And the last one with E. Every, we use it with E. The members of a group of three or more considered in general. Now, my friends, let's do exercise number 3. Complete the sentences with the words in the box. We have both, each, every, few, many, several. We will just have a few sandwiches for lunch because it is late. Why here I used few? Because I'm talking about a small number of sandwiches. Okay? Number 2, my mom works at a hospital and she knows every patient there. Why here I used every, guys? Because I'm talking about a member of a group, okay? I'm talking about a group of patients in general. I did not mean that she knows everybody individually, okay? If I want to talk about someone's or a group of people that she knows them individually, I have to use each. But in this sentence, no, I have to use every because for sure she doesn't know them individually, she just knows them as a group, okay? Number 3. There are several ways of improving your communication skills. Why here we use several? Because I'm talking about an amount of communication skills which is not exact but fewer than many. Clear? Number 4. I'm afraid there are not many parking spaces left. Here, why I used many? Because I'm talking about large numbers of parking spaces. Okay? I'm afraid that there is no large number of these parking spaces. So here I have to use many. And the last one, I have to use both. Both Manchester United and Arsenal are playing in the Champions League. Clear? For example, I'm talking about 2 teams. That's why I'm using both. Easy, guys? I hope it is easy. Okay, guys, now let's do exercise number 4 together. This exercise is important and the previous one, okay? Now, choose the correct answers. I will ask Julia and Caddy to translate it. Several or both of them can speak French. Of course, both, because I'm talking about 2 people, okay? Julia and Caddy. Number 2. Have you read these books? I read 2 of them, but I have not had time to read all of them. And this one is already known from the context. Number 3. Do I say how many or how few of them are coming to lunch? Of course, how many? Several or every of us? Okay, whenever you see every and you saw the preposition of, then you have a pronoun. For sure you're not going to use every because it is an exception. Okay, all the quantifiers we can use them with of, then a pronoun, but every we can't. So we have to use several of us when to the talk on interview skills. Number 5. Each or all of the photos shows a different face. What do you think? We have to use here each of the photos shows a different face. Why? Because here I'm talking about each photo individually. Okay? The last one, There are not many bottles of water left. Here, we used many for a large number of something. And yeah, I'm talking about the bottles, so I have to use many. Clear? Now, 10th graders, the last exercise that we have to do for determiners and quantifiers is exercise number 5. Complete the spaces in the sentences with the or leave them empty. Okay, now first sentence. Alice cycles to space school every day. The school is in Browning Road and it is about 5 kilometers away. Here, do I have to use any article, an, or the? No. Okay, so the first space, no article, the second space, the. Sentence number 2. I broke my leg and I was taken to hospital by ambulance. The doctors at hospital looked after me very well. On the first space, I should use no article because I'm talking about an action, okay? The second space, I have to use the. Why? Because I'm talking about a specific building. Number 3. I told the children to stop jumping on the beds and to go to bed immediately. Number 1, I should use the because I'm talking about specific beds, okay, that they are jumping on. And on the second space, I'm giving an order. They are doing an action, right? So, no article. Number 4. My dad is a professor at the new university in Birmingham, but he studied at university in Durham. Okay? Number 5. We could not find any nice t-shirts in town, so we bought some in the town where we spent our summer holidays. And this is the end of our grammar for this week. Thank you for watching.